Welcome to Butterfly Effect. Today is stage 16 of the 2020 Giro. The Vuelta has also started. That's why I have stage 21, the podium finish jersey up here. And of course, some more stages from the Tour de France in 2005. I'll talk about those later. We'll get to the Vuelta and today's stage 1 and another video posted later. We'll shoot right after I finish this one. Anyways, stage 16 of the Giro, a 28-man break. It's 229 kilometers stage. It's a huge amount of distance. A 28-man break goes up the road. Folks, when the break is 28 guys and you have no outright favorite like a Peter Sagan or Walt Van Aert or Greg Van Avermaet without teammates there, there is no math to decide who's going to win this. It's 28 guys. Whoever can jump at the right time and get the pause from the back in the group and gain time has the best chance of winning. Jan Tratnik was perfect. He goes at 40K from the finish line, riding solo. And that's a big distance. A lot of things can go wrong from 40K out. You can get incredibly fatigued. A group of 5 or 7 can work really well together. If they're well oiled and just driving it, they can arrive to you really fast. You can be tired. Then those guys, because they're sharing the work with 7, 8 riders back there, can be fresher and jump away. It's a big risk to go from 40K out. The upside is like I said, nobody can figure out the math on a stage like this. Guys don't work together. There's no big favorite back there. So once the chemistry stops flowing, which it does, as soon as Tratnik is gone, chemistry is upset all over the place. Nobody's working well together. Finally, when Ben O'Connor comes across to him on the last steep climb just at the summit, Tratnik was perfect. He had to make it to the summit before Ben O'Connor got there to make sure he can go over the climb with him. He does that. Now, I got to agree with Ben O'Connor when they're coming in with 2K to go and Tratnik starts to sit on him. You assume the guy's tired. He's been out there for 40K. You bridge the gap already up to him on an incredibly steep final climb of the stage. It's going to be a 1.5K climb to the finish. Ben O'Connor's tactic, I can't argue with it. Ben, you were great. I mean, going at the bottom, hitting hard from 1K to go. I would have done the same thing. It looked like the perfect strategy. Just drive it as hard as you can up the last climb. Clearly, Tratnik must be tired because he'd already been out front the whole time. You caught him on the climb before. But wow, Jan Tratnik, you did a great job. You played the bluff card. You got caught at the top of the last category climb. You worked a little bit to keep the gap there, and then you sat on for 2.5K before the final climb, and then you just lit Ben O'Connor up. It was a great win. Well deserved. I mean, it was beautiful to watch on TV, executed perfectly, and I can't argue with anybody's tactic in that break. When it's 28 guys, this is the kind of math that NASA has to figure out or something. Nobody knows. I've been racing for 25 years, and I cannot tell you how it will work when you're in a 25-man group. There's no outright favorite. The numbers for different teams, some of them have 2s and 3s, but there's just not enough power to really dictate who is specifically you have to watch on a stage like that. It was great. It left a little bit of climax there to the finish. Who would have thought Tratnik had that kind of force to punch it to the line and just destroy Ben O'Connor? Great job. Back with the race leader now, the Koenig Quick Step. Joao Almeida, he was fantastic too. He just destroys the field of favorites with 1K to go. This is a great tactic. We all have already seen throughout these earlier stages at the Giro just how strong Almeida is. He is very strong on these short, punchy climbs. He can still sprint on these flat stages, almost up there with the pure sprinters. He's quite good. So to take even a few more seconds today and just add a little more of a dig on the GC favorites, I thought that was pretty spectacular. It was fun to watch. He was going really good. And it's not going to upset Wilco Kelderman any in terms of bringing his morale down and stuff. Wilco Kelderman knows what Almeida's form is and what that kid does. What Almeida does right now is he can climb pretty good, better than most. I mean, not quite up there with Wilco Kelderman, but better than most. And he's got an amazing sprint, and he's very explosive. Today's finish was absolutely ideal for Almeida to gain a little distance and just put a little thumb and a dig into Wilco Kelderman. But I'm sure we're looking at a good stage tomorrow. Wilco Kelderman, the Sunweb team, tactical guys today, they were great. Takuna Quickstep, fantastic. All in all, today's stage was fun to watch with such a big group of 28 and not having any idea how it can play out. Now, great job to the guys today. Look forward to seeing them race tomorrow. It's going to be a hard stage. I'll talk about the two jerseys here. This is the skin suit from 2005 Tour de France. We had a team time trial that year, so I brought that out. This jersey was worn on the last day of the Tour de France in 2005 on the Champs. I'm up solo. I'm sorry, not solo. I'm with one other guy with a Quick-Step rider, I believe, Bram Tankin. And we're just trying to hold off the field on the Champs. It's my first year doing the Tour de France. I'd never been racing on the Champs before. As soon as we entered, I jumped away. Two-man group. It was great being on TV and putting on a show at my very first Tour de France. And I was 34 years old when I did the Tour de France. I'd had opportunities earlier in the 90s with Frances de Jure in 1998. I was told I was going to do the Tour de France. At that time, I'm a young kid. I'm about 25, 26 years old. Frances de Jure's Marc Madio comes up to me and says, "Hey, Chris, you're racing great here at Midi-Libre. We're going to put you on the Tour de France team." I was sitting sixth at the Midi-Libre, and it was the whole Festina team that was just amazing that particular year. It's the last stage, the morning of that stage when Mark says, "I'm doing the Tour." We start the stage. We're coming down to the last 50K, and we're going down this long boulevard with trees lined on the side of the road. Yevgeny Berzin was my teammate with Frances de Jure, and I'm in the front echelon. It's all Festina guys and me in the front echelon, and Yevgeny Berzin bridges across from the second echelon just behind us, and I move over to the left, let him slide in right in front of me. The whole Festina team does this huge wave. It sends me either to the choice of going off the road and hitting one of the trees or picking instead Yevgeny Berzin. So I picked my teammate Yevgeny Berzin. He crashed, I crashed, I broke my wrist. So in one morning, I was getting ready to do my first Tour de France. And by that afternoon, I was at the emergency room in the hospital and watching the 98 Tour de France from my home in Nice, France. It was quite devastating. So this jersey, making it to my first Tour de France at 34 years of age, on the Champs, off in a two-man break. It was a spectacular moment for me. So I hope you appreciate the story. And I'll see you guys really soon because we're going to be back on with stage 1 of the Vuelta. Hope you like the butterfly effect, and I'll see you guys very, very soon.